Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and today we're going to do a beautiful, soft winter painting. And I think in this one, we're going to put a little Christmas tree all lit up. It should be a lot of fun. And of course, if you're enjoying these, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. Let's get started. We'll start off today here with our 1-inch brush and some white and a little bit of purple, but mostly blue in that purple. I spent just a few minutes sketching out with a filbert brush using really the same color. And also I put a little bit of clear gel and white mix up here at the top of the sky. Now we can go ahead and work on our painting. All right, so I'm gonna throw that color in, a little bit too much purple, so I'm gonna add a little blue and work that blue in so that we have a variation of color. So it's not just one color straight across the sky. You could do that, but I'll bet you'll be happier with it if you change it up. There, so that's what we're gonna do. I don't want a sunset today, I just want a pretty sky. Something that maybe has a lot of clouds and it's a dark, maybe it's early evening, something like that. Not quite sunset. There. And that way it sort of gives us an excuse for our Christmas tree to be lit. There we go, I like this a lot. All right, so I'm just finishing up here, doing a little bit of work to the clouds. I just decided to scrub in some clouds I just added a little black to that color here and just made some. It was really quick and easy. I also put a glow here at the horizon. I needed to do those things. I had to make the sky just a little bit more interesting, so that's kind of what I decided to do there. Anyway, enough of the sky. Let's move on now to our mountains in the distance. So I'm going to use the same colors. And I'm going to, well, let's tell you what, just touch more blue, just for fun. And up here, let's go ahead and just start working in our little mountain. And what happens if you can't tell where the mountain is and where the clouds are? You know, I don't think it's gonna bother me. I don't think I'm gonna care. There. Reason I don't care, very simple. Because I want this background to be soft. There are so many things in this painting. You notice our horizon is extremely high compared to normal. And we're going to be able to get away with that for one reason. We're going to put some large elements in the foreground and detail. There's going to be most likely we'll put a fence in the foreground. That tends to help as long as you get it the right proportion. You know, all those things are very important. So you got to plan out your painting as you do it. All right, otherwise a horizon this high would not work. It would look weird. You are not going to be happy with a weird looking painting, so be careful. There, I'm also going to place some snow in and around these beautiful areas. This isn't necessarily my light source in here, just sort of a glow. That glow probably stretches on and off the canvas, which this area will be covered with a tree, so there. Now I'll mix up a little soft yellow color here on the detail round brush. I'm adding some white to lighten it up. And let's see, right over here I want to start thinking just a bit about some trees growing back up on here. Maybe this is, you know, we can see a few leaves sort of hanging on these trees from fall. Maybe this is early winter. Yeah, that would make sense. Good. All right, so I'm just going to add these colors on kind of randomly, very, very, very loosely. There we go. Okay, see, I added just a little umber to that mix, which is nice. I kind of like what that does to it. Yeah. Good stuff. Not too much red in this color yet. We'll go a little bit more rusty red as we go down. For now, I want you to keep the colors a little more soft, simply because we're in the background, and that's the rule. When you're in the background, the colors are soft, so gotta make sure you stick with it, at least loosely. There we go. A little highlight just for fun. I'm not making trees, I'm just smudging color. That's all I'm doing. It's pretty easy. I know you guys can smudge color around. Everybody can. There. So when you break things up into little steps and you kind of know how to work the brushes and you got the right things, the right tools, this is really not so difficult. Now we'll load up our little 1-inch brush here with a very similar color. At this point, I'm not exactly sure what's in it, but it's mostly a little bit of red, blue, and white. I'm sure it's got some brown and some other weird stuff happening, but that's okay because it helps to tie the whole painting together with the color, and that's important. I would like to throw a little bit more of the red in here. That's kind of fun. So I just changed the color as we go, and we're going to make a lot of, well, distant kind of trees and some snow areas that I think will be very pretty. I'm going to just spend the next couple of minutes here kind of underpainting a lot of this background area. I may even slide over and do some of the snow down here in the foreground with a similar color. There, we can add the deep dark shadows in the bottom and back here. We may not want a lot of deep dark shadows, so this mid-tone is going to be a good thing to do across most of this whole painting. You can even soften some of your mountain back here. There, you see I just spent a little more time adding in some snow areas just for fun. There we go. This is looking pretty good, nice and soft. Now we need a little bit of I don't know, kind of like a tree line back here. There, I'm just gonna scrub it in. I've just got a lot of, at this point, muddy colors in my brush, but they work. I'm making sure that it's kind of a pleasing color. It looks kind of brown, which is nice. All right, right up here. I want to scrub in. See, these trees are getting a little bigger. You know, maybe they're not huge yet, but we're getting there. Good stuff. Right down here. So you see I'm creating a little bit of a lay of the land here, kind of making it form so it's not just straight across. That's important. So why I mention it is so that you guys kind of see that I'm doing it on purpose, not just throwing things around and hoping that it looks nice in the end, because that is a pretty good way to ensure it won't look nice. So take your time, take a couple extra minutes. Didn't take a whole lot of time. There, and it just makes life a little easier. Anything you can do to make your painting experience a little more fun, a tiny bit easier, you might as well do it. There we go. Good, so that's probably enough. I like the way that looks. And then over here, we gotta imagine, I don't wanna forget about this area. I do realize that there's gonna be a tree there, because I'm pre-planning, there's gonna be a tree here. But I don't wanna leave it totally blank, because obviously we're gonna see a lot of this area through the tree, because the tree is gonna have most of the leaves gone, and so there you go. That's the thought process behind all of this. Fun, good stuff. Now we do need to bring down that a little, fuzzy up the bottom, and then highlight these. So to highlight, just a little bit of yellow, white is good. Anything like that. Touch of red in there is nice. Anything like that. And just place on a little highlight. Now I'm going to go ahead and work in some beautiful snow back here. Simply cleaning up the bottom of these trees here, which is good. We want to do that. All right, and see, I'm just using a soft blue color. And it's got a little purple in it. It's very similar. It's just like a couple shades lighter than the background, it's nice because it just gives us a little bit of contrast without having to go overboard and maybe make it look kind of unrealistic. Now I know the temptation here is to throw so much light here, but remember, our light source is coming from the right and working its way over this way, so it would be kind of weird if you put a lot of light under these trees. So try to keep it in the mid-tone range. And then every once in a while, you can just sneak a little bit of light back there. Good. So the way I would sneak the light and make it look realistic, take a little light and watch this just every once in a while. You just imagine the light sort of filtering through the tree. It's hitting a couple of these spots. I kind of started a spot right there, which I saw, maybe an opening there. Isn't that cool? So anyway, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to work with a little bit of light, mostly this mid-tone, and clean up a lot of these trees. I don't want them to mix too much, but a little bit of mixing is okay. If you get a lot of mixing, then your snow just kind of looks brown and yellow. It's a little weird, but a little bit won't hurt anything. A little bit, it kind of looks like shadows, but not a ton of this will be reflecting. This is not like a lake. This is snow, and it's a little different. All right, now we're going to just drop in our large tree up here, which we were planning from the beginning. There we go. So it's just not a big deal. You kind of think about things in advance, and then you put them in later. That way, look, we didn't have a lot of background to cover, which is nice. Okay, I want to make these limbs very interesting. I don't want just boring limbs today, because we are going to leave this tree bare. Ordinarily, the limbs are not really the most important part of the tree. They really aren't, because they get covered. And they really get covered, almost like 80, maybe 90%, depending on what you're doing. But not today. Today they're showing almost 100%. We'll have a little bit of snow, but that's not going to cover much. We want to see something cool? Ready for this? Ah. Whoa. That's cool. It got a little thick there, but it's fun anyways. There. Nice. Now, because it's a little thick, I'll thicken it up right there and thicken it up all the way down. So many people would just sit there and they'd try to take this background and erase the background. Instead, I'm gonna just make it a little thicker and call it good. Why waste your time? Does the tree look any worse because it's thicker? Of course not. So don't drive yourself nuts. If there's an easy way to fix it and a hard way to fix it, please take the easy way. There you go. Because generally it looks just as good. Now, if there was a true reason that you wanted it slimmer there, then we'll go for it. But I'm not going to tell you that it's important on this tree today. Thicken that limb up and look, it's all good. Should have changed my detail round though. There we go. And maybe right over here, see, the tree is, a lot of the bulk of the limbs are going over in this direction, which is okay, as long as we have, kind of balance it out with a few that are almost bending from the weight of the snow into the composition. That'll help draw our eye in toward the painting, which is extremely important. Now, as you can see, I went ahead and painted just a little evergreen tree right here, and it looks a bit out of place, which is good. That's what we want. This is our Christmas tree. We have just our very subtle house, which is really there more to explain the Christmas tree than anything else. And okay, so let's do this. This is going to be really fun. I'm going to take just a little bit. Let's start with a star. Here we go. See, I build up a big glob of paint. Grab a little white as well. And right on top here, you have to be very, very decisive with your strokes. Oh, that's sweet. Look at that. Isn't that fun? Cool. Yeah, you do have to be decisive about your strokes because, and look at this big thing of paint that I have on here. Because you only get one shot. And I don't say that to scare you because it's not difficult. It's just, I'm trying to say, don't try to go over the same spot over and over again. It will not work. There. Oh, that's so cute. Look at that. Isn't that fun? I love that. I'm just going to continue putting on these little lights. And it's evening, I don't know about you, but I like to turn on the Christmas decorations early. I like them on early. There. That's fun. And of course, we can take a little snow, bury this tree out in the snow. Now we're going to go ahead and just throw a little bit of light on our house. I don't want a ton. Remember, this is early evening. There, so I'm going to really think about the shadows and all that good stuff. When you're painting this, it's very, very important that you limit the amount of paint underneath. In fact, look over here, see how that's kind of mixing? I'm not getting very bright color. It means I have to load more onto the brush. So it's very important that you don't put a thick underpainting. There. Good. You can clean up any goofy edges like I just made. Once you're done, I don't like to stop and do it now. I like to just get it done, come back and clean it up in a minute. Good stuff. Now right here. There. Do a line. Good. When I was doing this building, I actually took a little paper towel and just kind of mushed around in this whole area back here to remove some of the thick paint. Because I had it pretty thick back there. Good. Okay, what do you think? Maybe just a little snow on the roof? I think that'd be fun. Just layer on a little bit. Not a ton. There's not a ton of snow in our landscape. Now I'm going to place in a little chimney up here. I thought I was going to do it around the back, like I usually do, just stick a little chimney out and call it good. And then I decided, well, nah, let's do a big chimney on the outside of the house. You know how they stick out sometimes like this. I thought that would be a little bit more interesting. So, anyway, that's what I decided to do. Good enough. And I like this actually quite a bit because in my mind here, as I'm thinking along about maybe what's going on, maybe the entrance to the house is over here, right? And then so they walk in this way, and this will be the left-hand side of the house if you're walking through the front door. And if that's the case, I would certainly want a little window facing my Christmas tree. So watch this. There you go. Now we can see our Christmas tree. Maybe over here too, on the other side of the fireplace. Now with the 3/4 brush, I'm going to go ahead and just drop in a little bit of our purple color from up here. Basically the same thing. And that's good. You want to tie your painting together with color. You guys know about that. I'm just brushing in this little slow-moving creek area that we kind of left blank until now. I'm going to just get it covered because I like to have at least one layer of paint on before pulling down reflections. We'll pull down reflections from the sky mostly. I'll show you how we do that. Enough of that. Let me grab our pink. And it's a similar color to what we have up there, maybe a little more yellow. I think we had a lot of yellow up there. Yeah, something like that. There we go, pretty. Let's come right down here. Let me just show you. Take this and rub it. You can either pull straight down and then across, or just go across, whatever. Doesn't matter, it should be about the same effect. So anyway, let's just do that. Now I'm going to place just a little bit of snow on a fence that I just dropped in. It took me 2 seconds here. There you go. And maybe just, yeah, I'm going to have some snow out on the top of the fence. Good. And of course some snow clinging to the side of the fence. Over here, let's think about our tree. I'm going to make sure I have plenty of paint loaded into the brush. With the lights coming across like this, some areas will be shadow and some highlight. But we're going to have a lot of snow clinging to these branches. Light touch. Don't cut through the paint if you can help it. There, lots of paint. Normally I wouldn't tell you to do this, but that's the only way you'll get it bright, is to put a decent bit on. There, I'm doing all the lights first, and I'll come back and do the shadows the same way. Now, one of the last things we're going to do up here is simply go over some of these limbs and kind of refine them, as well as adding many, many different little branches up here. There. I'm going to spend several minutes, maybe a couple more minutes than I normally would, on this, because obviously, you know, we can see every branch. There. And I don't want to just rush through the detail here. Not on this. Now, it would be okay to do that if you knew you were going to have leaves on this. But since we know we aren't, we're not going to rush the branch work. And while I have this going, I will just throw a couple of grasses down at the bottom. I think that'd be kind of pretty. There. But this is great. This is where we'll spend most of our time here, kind of at the end of our painting, making this tree come to life. And you're not stuck with just brown. Oh no, not stuck. You could grab some white. You can lay a couple of white ones on. See that? Looks like some frosty ones. Yes. Nice. Good stuff. And then back to your browns. All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.